I don't know the board, and I have the Triple D extension in, and it's working really well. In the lulls I release downhaul, in the gust when I see a gust coming I tension the downhaul, and you can feel the difference. And as Wim told me, it was like shifting gears on a bike, and in the beginning I was skeptical, but it's just working and it's so much fun. And as you can see, it's chubby, but I got a run behind the dam, and yeah, speeds are pretty good for a first time setup. I haven't found the perfect trim yet, but I'm working on it. So yeah, great first day on the small Invictus, and even in the steep chop it works really well. Also my good old Avanti M8 6.3, it's just working, and it's so much fun to trim your downhaul on the water. I did not know that it would be so much fun, and it's just, you just press a button here and you can hear it working down here. So today I don't have any sailing, just some clips from the summer. But today I would like to talk about the Triple D electronic downhaul that you can trim on the fly. I've had it since Easter last year, and how it's holding up. A lot of people were writing in the comments that electronics and salt water wouldn't get along, but having met the people who developed it, the two engineers from Holland, and they have got it rated Decra and TÜV, I think. You can see it on the website for keeping out water and stuff. So I was pretty confident in it not being a problem. And so I would like to, in this video, go through how it's holding up, why am I using it, and also a little bit about why the downhaul is so important, and some theory about why we need the downhaul and the loose leech. And yeah, so we'll get to that. First we'll check this one out. And yeah, as I said, from almost, I think I've used it for 9 or 10 months. I don't use it every day, but I use it mostly for when I go out in not so good conditions, when I think there will be a lot of pumping, and also for long distance racing where the wind can shift a lot during the races. There I think it's just a genius part of equipment, because you can adjust the power of your sail. I'll get to that later, but now, how is it holding up? And yeah, have there been any problems? Not big ones, but you can see there's a little bit of wear and tear on this. It's, of course, it's laying on the boom, and the boom is hitting the, but it's just superficial. It doesn't mean anything. Both of these still works, and I haven't lost any, which is pretty good for me. So here's the top cap, where you're using it with the SDM mast, and it has a pretty big O-ring. Then there's the small cap here. So it's sealed with, actually, the electronics are sealed with 3 O-rings. And if we take this one out, I have, the only problem I really had was that I destroyed one of the O-rings, or it wore out. So I wrote to the Triple D, and they sent it some extra, and also they informed me that it was a standard part. I think it's a O-ring called 1x18 millimeters, and I'll put in a text if it's not the right size. But then they cost like next to nothing, so I just ordered. So I have 10, I think, in my spare parts. And yeah, it's just one of them was broken, and they informed me that actually if I use it for SDM, even though there's just one O-ring here and you have the big O-ring here, it will still be watertight, but they wouldn't recommend it going for as an RDM extension if one of the O-rings is broken. So yeah, you turn it on here, and I must say, yeah, I'm really impressed with the battery life. I don't have to charge very often, so it can easily last a long session, 3 or 4 hours on the water, trimming maybe 10, 20 times without a problem. And they also informed me that because the mast is twisting while I'm trimming, it doesn't take that same amount of power to downhaul the sail as compared to when you're downhauling it on a beach where the mast isn't flexing all the time. And here it flexed to the side. So yeah, so, and also this standard piece is, yeah, working just like every other extension. So you turn it on, you put the caps back on. Yeah, of course, set it. Yeah, I would have liked, I just write down which hole it is, but I would have liked some numbers here, but you can just make a small dot or something. And yeah, and you can see, yeah, now it's fully released, and now you can hear it working. So yeah, it's still working just like it should. And you can see the rope is being pulled now, and we can do it again. And also you can see the parts down here. They're holding up corrosion-wise very good. So yeah, I think it's a great product. They have really put in a lot of engineering hours, and it's holding up. Yeah, so I see no problem with electronics and saltwater when the product is designed and engineered as good as this one. So yeah, that was a little bit about how the extension is holding up here 9 or 10 months later. So I'll go put it in a sail now outside in the freezing cold, and I'll talk a little bit about downhaul and why we really need it, and what's the benefit and the trade-off of a lot of downhaul versus little downhaul. So see you in the garden in just a moment. So when we all learn to windsurf, we don't know that much. So on a windsurfer, the sail is called a sail. On a sailboat, a sail is also a sail. If you look at your windsurfing sail compared to a sailboat sail, you will probably notice that there's some big differences. And actually, I think on a windsurfer, it should be called a wing and not a sail. And why is that? Because we go way faster than the wind. On a sailboat, you have a spinnaker and stuff. You go almost the same speed as the wind, maybe a little faster on the half wind, but we go 2 times, 3 times the wind speed. So it's more like a wing. And also if you think of really fast sailing craft, like the Sail GP foiling catamarans, they have a wing sail. And also you can see, if you film down here, what we're trying to achieve with the ray sails is this drop shape, and then this shape up here. And anyone who has been on a plane will know that is the profile of a wing and not a wide baggy sail like on a sailboat. So this is, think of this as a wing. And how can we, the wing is great. The wing is now trimmed for top speed and flex. You can see it can flex, all of this can flex. And that is really good going at top speed. And usually this is a 6.3. When I go sailing on a 6.3, I'm really, really powered. So I don't have to pump, I'm more in a survival mode. But if I'm going long distance, think again at the wing where the wind will drop up and down. Yeah, I'll tell you. So if you've ever been on a big commercial plane, because this is a bit fiery and a bit nerdy, and you're sitting next to the wing, you know they drive the flaps out when they are about to take off and land. And that's because when they're taking off and landing, they don't have the same speed as when they are up in the sky doing 800 kilometers. They have to take off about 200, 300 kilometers. I'm not that interested in planes, but there you need a deeper profile. That's what the flaps are doing. They are extending the profile so it gets deeper, so you have more lift. And that's also the way you should think about your windsurfing rig. When you have the deep profile, you have more lift. And that we can adjust with the trimmable outhole. If I pull here, it gets flatter. And that's great, then I have less lift. Theoretically, I have a slimmer profile, I have a higher top speed, but I also get a really twitchy sail. And as you can see, the leech, because of the tension here, is getting restrained. So that means I have less forgiveness in my rig. And if the wind is blowing harder, I need more forgiveness. So we need a bit of belly down here to stabilize the whole thing. And so you can say, why do we need, what do we then do? Because if I release a lot here, I get more belly. So I can trim a little bit here, but if I do it extensively, I close up the leech, so I have no release at my, should we call it a wingtip? And what you can then do, and what you realize, if you're going in lighter winds, longer distance racing and stuff like that, you know the wind shifts all the time. And I have this completely wrong self-image of me, of being almost as fit as the young guys like Johan and stuff, so they can pump forever. I can't, I'm a middle-aged man, I can't pump forever. So where the Triple D extension comes in as a great help is that I can just, with the press of a button, usually I have this connected here, and you can hear it working. I hope you can hear it. But right now we are releasing downhaul, and I can do that 4 times. That means that I'm slowly getting more profile here, like driving out the flaps on my big Airbus plane. I'm getting more profile. I'm getting it higher up in the sail, so my sail isn't as flat in the top. That means right now I also have a more close leech. I have profile more up in the top of the sail and more profile down here, and I can actually release a little bit and have even more here if I need it. And that means that right now I have a really powerful sail. It has no top speed. Handling is also not super perfect, but it will keep me planing through big wind holes because I've actually just made it pull as much as my 7.0 would do when it's rigged for high wind. So what this is great and why we kind of need it when we get older is because when you drop off the plane, you need to get going. This sail with a lot less downhaul will get you going really easy. But when you get up to speed, you get the problems with the control and you don't get any release. So you need to tighten the downhaul again. And there we just press the button. And then we are starting tightening it, getting the loose leech again. So here now we are sailing. Now the plane is up in the air. So we are reducing the flaps and getting more top speed, more easiness of handling. And then you might say, Casper, but it isn't a wing because it flexes in the top. And when I go on a plane, it doesn't flex in the top. No, but a plane doesn't have to go through chop. You have to go through chop. And you have to go, if you have a race sail, you have to go through chop at a high speed. So we need the release here when we hit the chop. Otherwise, we just get pulled forward. And also, why we need to have the sail flatter in the top. And here you can again apply a little bit of wing theory. If you look at a windmill, it really has a lot of profile close to the center of the rotor because there it's moving slowly. And at the tip of the windmill wing, it's very thin, like your sail, and it has a lot less profile. So it also releases because the wingtip is actually going faster than closed at the hub. And then you might say, Casper, we are not going in circles only when we are front looping. Yes, but when we are sailing, we are not high up in the air as the windmill. We are down at the water, and at even the wind speed close to the water is quite a bit slower than the top speed, or than the top of the sail. That's why we need a flatter profile here, because the air will be moving faster here. And also we need the release when we hit the chop. So that's why a windsurf sail, and it has been the same design, only a few tweaks on the fin sails for the last 10 years. It has actually been the same. And that's why why it's a great help if you don't want to pump that much and you just want to have more, don't have to de-rig or rig up, rig down, just want to enjoy time on the water, then this is the electronic downhaul. It's just genius. You can come a bit of a way with the outhaul here. You also need that for racing, but I really think that it's a great help for middle-aged men like me who doesn't want to pump all the time, doesn't have the physical capabilities anymore to just keep pumping in not so good conditions. So there it helps, and I hope that with my little and long nerdy theory about how the sail works as a wing, you will understand why we need the downhaul. We need the twist, the wind is faster at the top, and we need the release when we are going fast. But to get planing, we need the opposite. We need a spaggier sail and no release in the top. We just need power just to get planing, and as soon as we are planing, the power needed to keep the board planing when we are just up on the water is a lot less. That's also why the rig starts feeling light as soon as you're planing, and why that's the greatest sensation in the world, and why we hunt it every time we go windsurfing. And the guy who are most on the plane is the guy who has the most fun. And this can help us guys who doesn't have the ability to pump all the time. So, and it's holding up and no problem with the saltwater. So a little bit nerdy video. I hope you like it. I hope I can throw in a few action shots. And hopefully the next video is about some action on the water. But hope you enjoyed this one with the wing theory and the extension review. So see you in the next one.